In part 1 of The Metamorphosis, young traveling salesman Gregor Samsa awakens from a troubling dream one morning to discover he has transformed into a hideous, gigantic, insect-like creature. He notices his brown belly, slightly domed and divided by arches. At first, he tries to fall back to sleep and forget all this nonsense. Lying in bed, Gregor contemplates the many disadvantages of his career. He wakes up each morning at the crack of dawn and suffers through terrible meals and a lack of close relationships, all due to constant travel. And on top of all that, his boss is unreasonable, and the only reason Gregor doesn't tell him off is because he is supporting his parents and sister and needs the steady income. Gregor panics when he realizes he's late. His alarm clock reads 6:30 a.m., which means his train left an hour and a half ago at 5 a.m. His boss would certainly come round with the doctor from the medical insurance company, accuse his parents of having a lazy son, and accept the doctor's recommendation not to make any claim, as the doctor believes that no one was ever ill, but many were work shy, Gregor thinks. Gregor's mother knocks on the door to check on her son, but when Gregor replies, his voice is a horrible twittering squeak, totally weird and unintelligible, as he tries to reassure her that he's getting up. His father pounds on the door, demanding to know what's wrong and why he is not at work. Experimenting with his new insect limbs, Gregor tries to maneuver himself out of bed. He considers calling for help, but decides against it. His family's concern grows, and Gregor's office manager shows up at their apartment to find out why Gregor missed the train to work. Gregor, determined to get out of bed, ends up throwing himself on the floor. Gregor realizes that his back is far more elastic and flexible than he thought. But Gregor does not open his bedroom door. His mother explains that her son is not feeling well, to which the office manager replies that if we people in commerce ever become slightly unwell, we simply have to overcome it because of business considerations. Gregor's father, growing increasingly impatient, pounds on the door, while his sister Greta starts to cry. The frustrated office manager brings up rumors circulating in the workplace that Gregor misused money entrusted to him and that his latest sales numbers were less than ideal. Gregor, in a panic, defends himself against the allegations and eventually makes his way to the door. Attempting to turn the key, he realizes he no longer has teeth, but an enormously strong jaw, which he uses to unlock the door. At the sight of this giant insect Gregor, his mother collapses on the floor while his father clenches his fists in anger and cries. But Gregor fears the office manager will get him in trouble at work and begs him to see his absence from work as unavoidable. He crawls toward the office manager, who leaves the house in a frightened haste. Gregor's father starts to shove and hiss at his transformed insect son in a fit of rage, and with a harsh boot of his foot, Mr. Samsa sends Gregor flying through the air into a corner of his bedroom, bleeding and injured. Part 1 provides a window into Gregor's innermost thoughts as he comes to terms with his bizarre transformation, as well as how he handles inquiries from his family and workplace. The narration flows from one thought to another, providing important background information on Gregor's life as a traveling salesman, in which he works long hours, never gets enough sleep, doesn't eat well, and commutes by train. His primary concern is not what will become of him now that he is a monstrous, cockroach-like vermin. Instead, he worries about how he will get to work and how he will take care of his family. And his father, Mr. Samsa, also comes across as being more concerned with Gregor's income earning potential than his well-being. To Mr. Samsa, the clerk's departure represents the family's lost chance at a sustaining income. In reaction, Gregor's father unleashes his fear and anxiety on his son. Franz Kafka uses his protagonist to introduce a running theme of the story: the changing nature of work in the early 20th century, in which advances in technology gave way to less human interaction and a more work-focused life. This view of the modern world explains why Gregor longs for the day he can quit and find a better existence. Gregor's life centers around taking care of his family, another theme that plays out through the entire story. Gregor has not missed his train a single day in his life, much less missed a day of work. Yet his boss clearly has unreasonable demands, expecting his employees will never fall ill or never need to take a day off. Though initially clumsy and awkward, Gregor starts to adapt to his new body. He experiences physical well-being and joy the first time he skitters around on his new legs. They even strained to carry him away wherever he wanted to go, and he already believed that final recovery from all his sufferings was imminent. Does Gregor believe he is about to escape the horror from which he awoke? Or does he think this metamorphosis will deliver him strangely from his humdrum life? Like many areas in the text, the meaning of this interesting passage is elusive and engaging in a thoughtful way.